What is up, guys? How are you? I hope everyone is having a good Friday. Let me just see here. Oh, Chris, how's it going, man? Welcome to the chat. What's up, Shane? How's it going? Welcome, welcome. Happy Friday. What am I excited for in the new Thousand Suns Codex? That's a really good question. It's a really good question. Let's see. I don't know yet. I'm excited for to be honest, I'm a little worried, and I'll tell you why shortly. I'll add it to my notes. Thousand Suns. One of my topics today is people suck. So I take little sticky notes of things I want to talk about so I don't forget. And yeah, I'm aware. Hold on one sec. So people suck is one of my topics today. Yeah, it is fucking too hot, guys. I don't even know what I'm doing right now. Let's see. People suck made #1. Hey Vivi, how's it going? Welcome to the chat. Hey, that's awesome, Talable. Good to hear, man. Yeah, we're gonna be working on the Leviathan today. I'm gonna show you guys the progress I made since Wednesday stream. I got lots of fun things to talk about. Probably go maybe 2 hours today, depending on how things go. I had plans tonight, so I was originally gonna do a shorter stream, and I canceled the plans because people suck, and it's actually directly related to what I was talking about with people suck. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about my personal life and some stupid things in my life. I got blood taken today. You guys can see that. I went for some blood tests today, which is exciting. I'm a little bit hungover. I had a fairly late night last night. I was on a date. Well, I would call it a date, but like, I feel like it was very casual, you know? So I feel like date is a strong word. Although it is a date, I guess. Like, we had drinks. Food. Although our dinner consisted of 5 margaritas and half a taco. So I don't know if that counts as food or what, or counts as going on a dinner date, but it was a lovely evening, but I didn't get to sleep till around 5 in the morning today, so the day went very well. And then I didn't get home till like 1 p.m. today, so yeah, that was my night last night. So I'm a little bit haggard. I haven't even showered, to be honest. My hair is still a mess. You can see my hair. It's full of fucking hair product. I haven't even changed my shirt from today because I got home, I ate some burritos, and I napped, and then I got up to stream. So as soon as it's done, I'm going to go shower and stuff and be more of a human being, but yeah, so that's kind of let's see here. So anyways, yeah, let's talk. Is the music coming through okay? We know it's too loud. I've been noticing that on the streams, the stream music is actually quite quiet, so just trying to figure out the levels on the music. You know, I want you guys to hear it, but I also don't want it to be louder than my voice. So hopefully it's like loud enough you can hear it, but not loud enough that it's overtaking my voice. And I could probably check it with my headphones. Like, I could check the levels, but that sounds like a lot of work. All right, so let's go through some painting stuff. So we've been working on the Leviathan. So as you guys saw the progress we made on Wednesday's stream, and as promised after the stream, I went and I continued to work on it. So I'll show you guys kind of where it's at. So here's the Leviathan as it currently exists. So as far as I'm concerned, the body is done at this point. I've done the base. I've done the decals. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer here. So I want you guys to see, check out these decals. So basically, yeah, so I went, did all the gold, did the metal, kind of, again, I don't do a lot with the metal. I just kind of do a light dry brush. I do the base coat, the wash, and then like a dry brush. Like, that's the nice thing about this Dreadnought metal. You don't need to do a lot. The only one thing I did is I darkened the exhaust ports with a little bit of like dark wash, just to give it a little bit of an exhaust. And then I make sure to always paint in these kinds of exhaust ports. I always make sure to paint in a little bit of black, so it's nice and pops. And then I added some decals. So I'll tell you guys about these decals that I have. Some really cool decals. There's the Thousand Suns one on each arm. This is a Zinch one on the leg. You can see there. And then I got a cool one that's like a chaos. It's like just chaos runes on the leg. And then I got this cool one here, and this kind of chaosy one here. And then I did the missiles, and I did finished the book as well. The like book here. So that's kind of the main body is done. And the decals are actually, before you guys ask, there was a Kickstarter some time ago for I don't know if the guy makes them anymore, but it was called Forgotten Chapters. And it was basically a Kickstarter. It was actually one of my favorite Kickstarters because it was actually really simple and it worked out. But so it was a Kickstarter for decal sheets, these like kind of custom decal sheets. So it comes with like all sorts of like random chaos ones, different colors of text, little symbols and stuff like that. So these are some really cool decal sheets that I have. I have 2 sets of them, and there's some really cool chaos ones. So the ones that you see on the Dreadnought I actually pulled from this set here, and they make really cool decals. And then I have just regular old school chaos decals from this is from the old chaos box, and then I have the new school decals as well from the new chaos box. I have a lot of decal sheets. It's something that you get a lot of. So you're wondering where the decals came from? That's where they came from. Christopher, thanks for joining. Who else is here? Vivi, thanks for joining. Drunk Vessel with Less Blood. Yeah. So the body's done, which is good. We're gonna slide it back on. So that's aside, and I've done the base and everything. A few flowers, you know. So that's gonna go aside. And today what we're working on is the weapons, and I have done some work on the weapons. So the plan today on stream is to finish the weapons. So far what I've done on the weapons is I've basically done I've done all the blue, the gold, and I'm just about starting to go in and do the silver. So I've actually finished the silver. I've just like done that first dry brush of the silver on these 2. And I'm just about to start the dry brush silver here. What I have left here is basically the silver. I'm gonna go in and do a little bit of weathering and stuff on the metal, like the tips here. I'm gonna make sure it's nice and dark. And then for the drill bits, I'm gonna add in a bunch of grime and goop and stuff here as well, just so that those look a little bit better. And then for the power claw, this thing here, I'm actually gonna go do like a power claw effect, like a power weapon effect. So this is gonna be like a nice bright, I think I'm gonna do like I'm gonna do like an orange to yellow effect. So I'm gonna do that probably the last thing I do. And yeah, and then if I finish those tonight, which I think I will, then I will start my DreadClaw drop pod. I am waiting on the storm cannon. So my very good friend Miles, let me see my phone. Last update, he said he's gonna be heading back my way around 5-ish. So it could be live on stream we get a storm cannon delivery, in which case I will not do the DreadClaw, but I will assemble and paint the storm cannon and magnetize it as well for my Dreadnought. So let's get going on these guys. So all I'm doing right now, I'm basically just I've already done these ones, but basically what I'm going to be doing is just kind of going over the metal. So I have a little bit of scale 75 trash metal here. This is an Artist Opus brush. I kind of use it as like almost like a shitty dry brush, but basically I'm going to just grab a little bit of the metal color and just kind of pull it over the metal. I don't like to, like, honestly guys, in general, for tabletop pieces, this is about as much work as I do in my metal. I do like I do a base coat, a wash, and then a little dry brush of the base coat metal. And I generally leave it at that. If it's this kind of like mechanical gear, like engine stuff. If it's say like a flat armor piece, like say I'm doing like a Grey Knight, I'll definitely highlight it more in a more traditional way. But whenever I'm doing all these like weird like engine parts and like mechanical stuff, like at the back of the dreadnought, or like weapon like casings and like stuff like that, I literally don't do more than just this like very simple method. I just find it's like, it's just not noticed. These parts are just so small, and it's just not really noticed when you do a lot. But I will show you guys the like kind of the burnish effect I'm gonna do on the cyclonic melta lens as I go through here. So you can see here, I'm just doing a very light dry brush. I'm not actually doing much of a dry brush here because this is all gonna get blackened pretty soon. All right, let's talk about people. So people suck. Spoiler alert. And okay, let me tell you about. Okay, let me rephrase this. I think in the world, and this is not Warhammer related, guys. This is just like me. Parade ready. What's parade ready? I paint all my models basically to the same standard, which is like high tabletop, very high standard. So I don't really have like different standards, I guess. Delish. What am I doing right now? Oh yeah. So I'm gonna do the griming of this weapon. So I'll tell you what I'm gonna use. So I'm gonna use a little bit of secret weapon sewer water. So put that on my palette. Guys, my wet palette, it's so hot here that it's like evaporating. I have a little bottle to like hydrate it, this thing. I literally have to like refill it every like 20 minutes with water because it's literally like crazy. We're going through a crazy heat wave here in Vancouver, if you're wondering. What am I doing right now? Oh yeah, and then I'm gonna get a little bit of let's see, black, just some coal black from Proacryl. This is a matte black. Put that near my sewer water, and then I'm just gonna get a bit of normal water, not sewer water. And what I'm gonna do is, first step is I'm gonna take like a very thin mix of the sewer water and just on its own. So you can see it's quite thin. It's kind of brownish, so it's not that dark. I'm gonna basically paint that all over this weapons, just like this. I don't know what the best way to hold this thing is. So paint that all over. Give it like kind of a nice brown color. Okay. Then I'm gonna do the same thing on the little drill bits. And I'm gonna let that dry fully. Oh yeah, so people suck. So my friend Sabrina, well, I'll use her first name. It's her real name. So Sabrina, if you're watching this, you're gonna know why we're not hanging out tonight, because I don't think you understand like normal human interaction. So she messages me last night and she says, "Hey, are you free on Friday?" Or no, "Are you free tonight?" So this is 2 days ago. She's like, "Hey, are you free on Thursday?" And I was like, "Well, I'm not, but I'm free on Friday." And she's like, "Okay, I'll come over at 7. I was like, "Wait, what?" That's not how making plans works. If you ask me when I'm free and I say I'm free at 7, what's the next question? You say, "Hey, cool, did you want to do something?" And I would say, "Yes, Sabrina, I would like to do something with you." And then she would say, "Hey, well then, what should we do? Let's make some plans." And I'd say, "Well, we could do this, or we could do that, or we could go for dinner, or we could go for a walk." And then we would make an agreement, a social agreement, that that's the thing we're going to do. Right? But instead, when I said, yeah, I'm free. She's like, okay, I'll come over at 7. And I was like, wait, at what point did I agree for you to come over to my house? Like, that was never a part of the conversation, right? Like, that was never, I never left that, that was never an option. Not that that might not end up being the plan, right? But why would you just assume that once I said I'm free tomorrow, you assume that I actually want to do something with you instead of me just, and B, that you're just gonna come in my house, right? Like, I'm not one of your, like, you know how like some people are like sometimes a little too comfortable and they just like, they just like invite themselves over to people's places. They show up unannounced. I'm not that person, and I don't like those kinds of people in my life. I'm a very structured person. And so if someone is like, someone's like, hey, I'm coming over. I'm like, no, you aren't. That's not what I want. So anyways, I just thought it was really funny because I was like, I tried to explain to her. I was like, hey, Sabrina, that's not how things work. Like, normally the next step would be you'd say, hey, well, did you want to do something now that I know that you're free? And I'd agree. And like, she didn't like that, right? She didn't like that I was like, no, like, as much as like, because here's what you gotta understand about her. She's like almost like too comfortable with people, and she doesn't respect people's boundaries. And so for her, it's very normal, like, once you're like, hey, I'm free, for her to just like show up at your house, like, not understanding that like that's not a thing. Vivi Fresh, I'll answer your question quickly. Rogue Trader Network, I have no idea who you are. I have no idea who Phil is, but hello, Phil. And oh, Phil, as in like Toronto Phil, Slumlord Phil. Slumlord Phil. Okay, got it. Slumlord polygamous Phil. I was like, it's gotta be that Phil. Well, what is Rogue Trader Network your guys' new show? Or what's going on? Yeah, Dreadlord, that's exactly what she was doing. She's like, okay, I'm coming to your house. I'm like, yeah, but I didn't agree that that was what we were gonna do. So I was like, why would you just presume that I want you to come to my place at 7, right? So I just thought that was like really funny. I'm like, wait, is this how you normally like deal with people? Okay, anyways, guys, back to the painting. So that first layer is dry. Now I have pure, this is pure sewer water. So you can see it's a little bit stronger versus the other color. So now I'm gonna go basically halfway up the pure sewer water. It's a great name for a color, by the way, sewer water. Anyway, so this kind of conversation, I'm trying to explain to her that like she's being presumptuous on like my plan, and she was like, well, what does it matter what we do? I'm like, well, it matters to me because I don't just like to like do stupid shit. So before I agree to anything, I want to know what we're doing, right? Like, okay, you guys gotta understand something about me. I'm not the kind of person that I very rarely want to spend time with people because I just want to see that person. I like to do things with people, and I like to have activities with people. I'm not the kind of person that will come over to your house and I just want to like hang with you. That's not, I get bored. I'm like, okay, so like don't come in my house and just be like, okay, we're just gonna hang out. Like, that's not a thing for me, right? It's like I gotta be doing something. And I think she's used to like all her friends being that kind of person where she can just like show up and they just like hang out and they just spend quality time with each other. But that's not me, so don't do that to me. Okay, now I'm going and adding some more there. Okay, we're gonna let that dry. Anyways, all right, what's your question? Let me see some questions here in the chat. Blah, blah, blah. You think Xanagors will be good again with the new codex? Christopher, unfortunately, no. If the points changes are any indication, so they've gone down 2 points, I think, in the new book from 9 to 7. Generally, that means, and we know, like, so. Sorry. So we know the new points for the 1,000 Suns, and the fact that, yeah, that's right, KP. Well, she doesn't play 40k, so she wouldn't know that. But anyways, so because of the new points in the chapter proof are from the new book, I'm actually very concerned about the strength of the book because it doesn't look like much has changed. All the like demon engines, like Forge Fiends, all the Forge Fiends, like all the existing old legacy Chaos Space Marine demon engine units are probably going to be just as bad as they currently are. They're probably not going to see, they're going to see as much play as they do in Death Guard armies, which is very little, right? So those aren't really a thing. Obviously in the chapter approved as well, we didn't get access to any new units, so there's nothing new coming to 1,000 Suns besides the Infernal Master, which he'll probably do something stupid like reroll ones to wound or something. Like, it won't be good, whatever he does. And beyond that, like, the points changes seem fairly minor. So I don't see them making huge rules changes to compensate. Yeah, and then so I actually bought a Mutilith Vortex piece, Christopher. I have it. It's I have one. I might buy another, but I'd like their rules to be a lot better. My one hope, here's my one hope: Zangor Skyfires and Enlightened, like the guys on discs. Zangor, regular Zangors, and like those, I hope those get up a lot better and they have a lot of more stratagem play, because right now they don't have a lot of stratagems. So I'd love to see like a thing like a Fire and Fade. I'd love to see things like a hit and run thing with the flying guys. I'd love to see their damage output increased, their saves increased, that kind of stuff. When it comes to things like the Mutilith Vortex piece, it needs a full rewrite. I'd love to see the Legion rules, so I'm really interested to see what the Legion rules are, besides just 6 inches of extra range, if that's what it's going to be. Because that's it for me, is really boring. Like, if you think about it, all Legions have rules for, like, that only applies to the Sorcerers, which I think is also feel bad. So I hope there's, like, a Legion trait that applies to, like, across the army. So, like, maybe, like, for instance, like, everything in the army gets a 5+ invuln. Or +1 of the invuln, or something like that. Right? It's almost like the Zinch one, because that's actually helpful for like non-sorcerer things. But like if the Legion trait is still 6 inches of range, well then that doesn't really do anything for all the vehicles, doesn't do anything for Zangors, doesn't do anything for cultists or rubrics or Scarab occults outside of the sorcerers. So yeah. Delish Hollywood asks, do most of your people who you hang with play 40k? No. In fact, no one that I hang with on a regular basis actually plays 40k. Most of my like real life friends, normal friends, do not play 40k. I have a whole separate group of Warhammer friends, but I don't really see them outside of Warhammer, like specific like gaming or tournaments. Like there's a few of them in chat today, but like we don't hang out on the reg, because most of them also live in fucking Surrey and shit. Yeah, Leviathan, man. Okay, so I'm just waiting for this to dry, guys. If you're wondering why I'm not doing any painting, I'm waiting for this this layer of wash to dry. I guess in the meantime, I can work on the cables. I don't know what color to do the cables. Black? Am I being lazy if I just go black? Probably, but we're gonna do it. Yeah, I'm in BC. J-Wedge. No, I don't. Which we should. Like, that would be a cool thing, right? If we got assigned dread rules in 40k. Or the robot guys, like the automatons. Psychic dreadnoughts would be amazing. So anyways, back to my stupid friend. Not stupid, she's great. She's super nice, and she's like trying to be like, she's like, I'm sorry that I wanted to hang out with you, because I was like, hey, you obviously don't understand like my boundaries and like my wishes. So I was like, I'm just gonna take it easy tonight and not hang out with you. And she didn't like that. So she was like, I'm sorry. Oh, what did she say? She's like, I'm sorry I tried to hang out with you. Like, super passive aggressive. And I was like, that's not the point. The point is like, I don't just have people come over and randomly like be in my house. Like, if you want to propose a activity or for us to do something and I have a say in what that is, then great, let's do it. But this isn't like a drop-in center at my house, right? Where you're bored, you have nothing to do, so you're just gonna show up and expect me to like hang out with you when I have much better things to do a lot of times, like painting. Oh, damage 2, man. Oh, that'd be so nice. I mean, if fucking sisters can get damage 2 bolters, I don't know why we can't have damage 2 bolters. I agree with you. Paint it light green, put on black contrast. I don't own contrast paints outside of like one blue one that I bought as an experiment, so that's not gonna work. ALEC, I'm either dumping on my green blue paint or pink purple paints again on my lightning cloud terminators. Yeah, honestly, that's why I play custom chapter, because I can play them as whatever I want. That's just the truth, right? So I don't have to make that hard choice of how I want to paint them. Is 40K my main hobby? Probably, yeah, it's like my main. Yeah, it's my main hobby. Do I game or collect anything else? I mean, I like to PC game when there's good games. Right now, there's no good games. The last PC game I played was Cyberpunk. Once I beat that, I'm excited for Elden Ring. I actually want to get where is he? Hey, Rogue Trader Network, if you're still in chat, I want to get a group going for this new D&D game, this Dark Alliance game. It's like a 4-player action co-op. I think it's called like yeah, it's like I don't even know what it's called. I think it's called Dark Alliance, Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale or something. It's like you play like Drizzt, and it's yeah. So if you guys want to get is it trash? Damn it. I mean, you can post a link, JWedge. It won't work because Twitch doesn't allow random people to post links. But if you want to DM me on like I don't know, throw it in the Discord. The link should be in the channel below. Yeah, exactly, Shane. I was like, well, I drink a lot and I like to go to parties. Is that a hobby? I was like trying to think if that was a hobby. Like kind of a hobby. I like to cycle as well. I ride my bike a lot, and I've been trying to get more exercise. I know I look like garbage today, but I have been exercising a lot. All right, now back to the weapon. So last thing we're gonna do is now take our sewer water paint. And I'm gonna add a little bit of that black. That coal black. And the reason I like to use the coal black is because it's quite matte. And I'm gonna paint that just on the tips. Just like that. Just like that. So that's like kind of the I guess melt-a-lance effect, the grimy effect. That's the same kind of effect I did on the exhaust too, for the back of the weapon. So watch the review of that game. Okay, I will check it out. Yeah, Delish, I am a bit of a party boy. I'm not gonna lie. I partied last night. I'm taking it easy this weekend. I'm gonna go on a hike tomorrow with some friends. 4 girls actually, surprisingly. And then, but then next week I'm going to a camping rave out in the bushes that me and my friends are throwing for my cousin. It's like a 100-person, basically 48 hours, 100-person rave in the forest. So that's my jam. So there's my 2, that's this claw. So this one's basically done. There is one more step I'm going to do to it, which I'll show you guys later. So I'll come back to that. And then this weapon here, I'm just going to wait for the black to dry, and then I'll move on to the cables. I had a Taco Fino today. I don't know if you guys, for those of you that are in Vancouver, had Taco Fino. And I had this thing called, what was it called? It was called a crunchy, soft and crunchy carnitas. And it was basically like a, what is that like? It was like a soft shell and then like cheese and then like a hard shell. It was like a soft shell with cheese melted. And then once the cheese is melted, it's like wrapped around a hard shell. And then it's filled with like beef and beans and stuff. It was really good. Highly recommended. So I had that for lunch, and now I'm trying to debate what I should have for dinner. So, okay, so what am I gonna do with these cables? I think I will do kind of what was suggested already, which is just paint them gray, and then let's see here. No, you know what? I'm gonna do them red because there's some red on the model already, and I want to add a little bit more color. So Mephiston red. I guess you don't need to be this close. Yeah, carnitas are good. So normally I'd probably just edge highlight this. Like highlight this like a normal person, but I'm lazy as fuck. So I'm gonna kind of just do a dirty red. Yeah, dude, it's so hot here. My AC's been on all day, all night. My little AC unit. If it like died for some reason, I would literally die. It's so hot here. Anyway, so that was one thing I want to talk about. Oh yeah, stream schedule for next week, guys. I'm just streaming on Monday and on Wednesday, and then that's it for next week because I'm away for most of the weekend. It's Canada Day long weekend. So I'm gonna go, as I mentioned, get my party on. Go make myself feel better, destroy my emotions, you know, suppress my depression, that kind of stuff with music and narcotics. That's my plan for next week. Well, tellable. I have something that I can't actually talk to you about because it's actually under NDA. But I don't know if I can. Okay, let me see what I can show you. Let me show you. I gotta do this without you seeing what I'm doing. Otherwise, I could get in trouble. So just hang on for a sec. Let me see if I can do this off camera. Sorry, I'm being all cloak and dagger. I'm under NDA because I'm doing a product review. I'm helping a company do a new product, review a new product, help formulate it. So I can't tell you what it is because it's under NDA. But I'm allowed to show you guys the paint on stream. I was given a letter that I said I could show the paints on stream. I just can't say who they're from. So because I do stream. So give me a sec. I'm gonna show you the paints. Huh. Sorry, this is hot. I love this. If you guys can guess. what I'm doing. I'm just trying to mix one of the paints. Anyways, so it's a all I'll say is it's a company, a well-known company of I love how stupid I feel right now. It's a well-known company. They're coming out with a line of airbrush paints is all I can say. And they are the colors they sent me are actually the good Thousand Suns style blue. So I'm gonna put them on my palette and I'll show you guys. I'll show you what they look like. I'm just mixing them in my haven't mixed them yet because I haven't tested them yet, but I'm just putting them in my what is it called? Vortex mixer. I will not be at BFS, my friend. Okay, there's one. Yeah, it'll be soon. Sorry, I'm so awkward. I'm trying to like, because if you guys see the bottles of the paint, you'll know exactly which brand it is, because it's very obvious from the bottles which brand it is. But I can't show you the bottles. But I'm just mixing up the paints. I'm going to show you on my palette, but oops. I feel so stupid having to do this. But I want you to see these colors so that you can maybe pick these up when they were released and do them. They're non-GW, obviously, is what the only thing I will say. Otherwise, I wouldn't be telling you about them. God damn. All right, so here we go. So these three colors, I don't need to see these blues. A little oversaturated. So these three blues, they're part of a new range of paints, the airbrush range. Who even asked me this question, by the way? Tellable? Yeah, so Tellable. This is a new range of blues. And the idea behind the range is that there's basically like this is their turquoise line and it's closest to the Thousand Suns. So this is like the mid-tone, this is the base tone, and then this is like the highlight color. So when those come out, and I haven't tested them yet, I'm gonna be testing them pretty soon, probably on one of my next projects. I would recommend those, but of course, if they're good. But I will also see this. Here's the thing. I will tell you guys when it is a paid advertisement. This is not a paid advertisement because I literally got 3 bottles of paint, and I'm just helping them with feedback. I'm not actually like doing a review or doing any sort of like stuff like that. But also, I am not a I won't do like a paid product review. I will give my my unfiltered opinion on stuff. All right. What was the other question? BFS, no. So what I decided as far as the ITC is concerned this year. So originally I was eyeing to maybe hit up one of the GW events, and travel a bit for the second half of the year. Hey, guess what? Guess who's getting their second shot on Monday? This guy. So I'll be fully vaccinated as of Monday plus 2 weeks, which is exciting. Yeah, it'll be obvious because you won't miss it because it'll be the only product review I've ever done on my channel so far. Sorry, I'm just putting a new piece of paper on my airbrush. So I'm just waiting for this to dry, guys, if you're wondering what I'm doing right now. The red. What I'm gonna do it really simple. Base coat red, wash with DreadClaw Violet, back into red, and then a little bit of highlight red, and then call it a day there. So I'm not gonna get too fancy. Let's get some airbrushing done though while that dries. So what I want to do, guys, I want to show you guys a little technique that I like to do. And this is generally something I do after I've done at the very end of a project like this. And let me just show you guys an example of what I'm about to do. So I got my airbrush here. Paper towel. Oh, you're not gonna get me in trouble. Oh shit. If anyone gets me in trouble, it'll be me. Okay, so I got my airbrush here. Just gonna run a little cleaner through it. And what I'm gonna do is okay, so I want to show you guys something. So I have the dreadnought here and I have the claw here. So now I want you guys to notice something, and I'll show you guys kind of, this is like an extra step. You don't have to do this. So these surfaces, these blues on this these arms, you see how they're like a little splotchy? Like, see how it's a little splotchy? It doesn't have that smooth, super smooth airbrush gradient here, right? And the reason that is because I did a lot of this by hand, because it's such a, like, you can look here, right? So see, it's kind of splotchy. Because this is such a small surface area, it's really hard to do like smooth airbrush transitions on like an area this big. So oftentimes for something like this, I will try to do my best initially on the base coat, but then I usually go in by hand. And most of the highlights here are all this like transition is all by hand, right? So it's all been just really thin glazing. But you can see here, it's kind of inconsistent. Like, see how it's like kind of up and down here? It's not like a nice clean transition. It's kind of like inconsistent. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go back with my airbrush now that it's basically done. And I'm gonna actually airbrush the finished model, which sounds crazy, but bear with me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little bit of my airbrush. You guys can see this. So a little bit of my flow improver. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of my mid-tone, which in this case is almond blue. And I'm gonna make an incredibly thin glaze here. So this is gonna be like super, super thin. You can see how little paint I put in there compared to thinner. And I'm just gonna, a little backflow. Okay. And you can see here on my hand how thin that is, right? So it's very little pigment there. So now what I'm gonna do is, now this is really thin, which means I can use very low pressure and still get a decent little spray. So you can see there, I just brushed a little bit of my hand. You can see how like, what's the best way to show it? So I'll show you on here. Look how light it is. It's like, it barely shows up, right? You can barely see it. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna get nice and close to my model here. I'm gonna go very, very close, and I'm gonna basically kind of glaze this in across those transitions. And because the paint is so thin, I can go quite low pressure and I can get quite close to the model. Okay, so same thing here. And you'll notice after that first pass, it barely looks different, and that's okay. That's the kind of the point. That the one pass doesn't really do much. Okay. Grab this one as well. You can see here there's some areas where it's a little splotchy. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back over the first thing again. Same thing. Now I get another very thin layer. You can see how gentle I'm being. And as I do this over and over, what that's gonna do, I'm gonna do this like 2 or 3 times. And again, you can see how thin it is, guys. So it's very, very faint. It's super faint. It's like incredibly thin paint, very, very faint. So I'm gonna kind of continue this process in that mid-tone area, right? Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to kind of get rid of that blotchiness of the brush transitions and kind of help it smooth out. But if I go heavy with like a pigment, you're gonna really notice it. Okay. And what you can also do too is if you're waiting for this to dry, remember this is also the airbrush is also a air hose. So if I just hold down, I just blow straight clean air at it and it'll help it dry. Okay, now I'm gonna go again one more time. Okay, again over here. Okay, you can see now. See how that's starting to kind of like, it's starting to kind of like smooth out that blend. It's becoming a lot less blotchy, I guess is the best way to put it. And I just kind of continue this process, maybe like 2, 3, 4 times, however many times you think it takes. And what's gonna do is it's gonna just kind of eventually, that very light glaze over multiple. Yeah, sorry. Oh, are you guys able to see that finger pressure? I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to be really gentle. So, and as I go over, I just kind of pulse it like this, very, very lightly. It's just like a very, very light pulse. And now I'm just blowing some straight air because I want it to dry. Okay, so let's go one more time. Okay, so there, now you can see that blend. You know, it's not perfect, right? But it's a lot less blotchy than it was before. Okay, and that was all by hand. And all I've done now is that airbrush has essentially gone, and it's basically helped kind of level out the blotchiness in that mid-tone. So it's a lot cleaner. Yeah. So Joseph, so I'm going down, but I'm also pulling back a bit. So normally if I just go straight down like this, you can see nothing comes out. So what I usually do is I actually pull back to I pull back first. Okay, sorry, let me back up one more time. Normally when you airbrush, when you want to control your brush, you'll push down fully, you're gonna hold it down, and then you're gonna pull back. And as you pull back, like I'm pulling back, the paint's gonna start to come out. So you can see the paint starting to come out of my hand. That's how you normally airbrush. But in this case, I'm actually doing it I'm gonna do it the opposite way. What I wanna do is start a little bit back, and because I just wanna pulse it, I'm just gonna start it a little bit back, my trigger, and I'm just kind of pulsing. And I'm just pulsing. Because I don't want a constant spray, right? I want to have just some very, I just want it to go exactly where I want it. And I don't want it, I don't want to have to hold down the trigger and have it go everywhere. So this way, what I can do is kind of get it where I want it, and then just quickly And the other thing too is I don't want full pressure. I want low pressure, because if I go, so one of the issues with airbrushing really close is you get spidering. So let me show you that. So see that? See how it spiders? So if I go too close, you're gonna get this big spidering and pooling, right? But by going low pressure, so if, now I can do that same thing, but going low pressure, I get the nice blend instead. Right, see that? So as you get closer to the model, you have to lower your pressure. Otherwise, you're gonna get that spidering effect. That like where the paint just like, the air actually pushes the paint off from where it landed. And then you get this kind of weird like split effect. If that makes sense. All right, so that's that. Okay, maybe one more. Again, it seems a little tedious, but worth it. All right, that's it. So now I still have, like, I use so little, no, it's okay, man. Ask all the questions. That's why I'm doing a painting stream. And so you guys can ask questions of what I'm doing. So that's a hard question to answer. I actually have, and I would highly recommend you get one of these. So this is this is how my airbrush is set up. I have a quick release like this, which is really important because when I want to clean my airbrush. But I also have this guy here, and this is a pressure gauge. So I set my airbrush to about 40 psi, so really, really high. I would never airbrush at 40 psi. That's like high. But what that means, and this is why, and I have a pressure regulator here that I can basically go. So watch this. This is off. This is completely off. I'm holding it down. Nothing's coming out. And then as I spin this, you can start to see the air start to come out, right? Now, normally what I would say is before I had one of these, this style of technique, I would usually do about 5 psi. So very, very low pressure. And if your paint is thin enough, it should be fine. You just gotta make sure your paint's thin enough. And then as far as the needle size, this is a point. Oh God, I wanna tell you. I have 2 needles for my airbrush. This is a 0.2 millimeter. So this is the one I use for very close up stuff, like this. All right, so that's done now. And you can see how much better those transitions look on the, sorry, one sec. So you can see how much better those transitions look. Again, they're not perfect, but they're just still a lot smoother. They don't have that kind of brush look. Now they actually look like I airbrushed it. So now it's gonna fit in with the rest of the Dreadnought seamlessly. It's not gonna feel like a whole different technique. Yeah, I have a regulator near my compressor too, and I used to always use that, but my compressor's down here, and I used to have to, I keep having to reach down to get it, to adjust my pressure, which was annoying. So I just bought one of these little regulator. Yeah, I use, what do I use for my normal? I think my normal size that I use, like for 90% of my airbrushing is a 0.3 or a 0.4. I'd have to check what it comes with. It's just whatever comes normally with the Infinity, the airbrush that I have. Okay, so that's basically done, that arm. Okay, so that guy can go aside. Now let's go back to this guy. So what I'm gonna do now is, goddamn camera, it's like in my way, trying to get my paints. So just gonna go in with a little bit of Gucci Violet on the red. Just like that. Just like that. All right. So I'm gonna let that dry, and then meanwhile we're gonna airbrush the claws now, the power claws. So what I'm gonna do, and here's another pro tip. So these are magnetized, right? So what I do is I grab one of my sculpting tools like this. I grab a big magnet. So like one of these. Come on, big magnet. Tufts, I use the Army Painter ones, and then also from Shadow's Edge Miniatures. They do a grass one. So take your sculpting tool, throw your magnet on, and then hope it's the right polarity, which it's not. So flip your magnet over, and then that's now my tool to hold my my model while I paint it. So I can use this now to paint. So I'm gonna put that aside. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna airbrush this, and let's get to it. So I'm gonna take a little bit of sticky tack. You're gonna see what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna mask off the parts that I painted already. So with sticky tack, the more you kind of work it, the softer and stickier it gets. So I highly recommend you get some of this stuff if you don't have it. Make some flat areas. So what I'm gonna do here, so I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna put a little bit there. Get this off there for now while I do this. Like that. So basically what I'm doing is I'm kind of going around the blade, and I'm making sure there's sticky tack on top of all the blue. So just the claws are sticking out because I'm gonna airbrush those, and I don't want to get overspray on everything else. And I can actually use my sculpting tool to kind of expose what I want and cover what I don't want. And don't worry if there's like a little bit of stuff, because of the fact that we're gonna do a little bit of brushwork on this as well. It's not the end of the world if like a little bit of the blue gets sprayed on. I just don't want the majority of the model to be ruined. All right, so there's my little claw, all stickied up. And then what I'm gonna do is just grab some more and just kind of wrap the whole thing at this point, just so that I don't get any. All right, so there's my DreadClaw. Now I'm gonna come in with my colors. I'm gonna start with this orange. I'm gonna go in the airbrush. Actually, I don't want to use this orange. It's too ugly. Let's use some Pro Acryls. So we'll go orange by Pro Acryl, then golden yellow. Then we'll throw some white in there. So those will be my colors. A little airbrush improver. few bits of paint. Okay, we got a nice bright orange there. Okay, and I'm just gonna so now I can kind of airbrush these claws. My airbrush is a bit clogged right now, so nothing's happening. So if it's clogged, sometimes what I like to do is I pull the needle and I just do this. Give it a few jams. There we go. Iron Out, thanks for the follow, man. Okay, so there's our first little base coat. And thankfully, because it's sticky tacked, I can just kind of sticky tack it there while it dries. So it's a little too thin. You can see it's kind of like running. So I'm going to give it a sec before I put more paint in. Gango, thanks for the follow, man. Guys, make sure if you guys are watching on YouTube or on Twitch to check me out on the other platforms. If you have Amazon Prime or you want to be very generous, subscribers and whatevers are exciting as well, so feel free to subscribe to the channel. All right. I'll always take the Jeff Bezos' money if you're wondering. Okay, so now I'm just basically there's a little mold line there. Okay, so there's my orange base coat. Thanks, Joseph. Appreciate it, man. Give that a sec to dry. I'm gonna add some yellow into this. Didn't really do anything, so add a bunch more yellow. So really didn't do anything, but oh well. So I'm just using the air only from the airbrush to help dry this. It's for 1,000 cents. What's the best way to get started in a 40K? That's a long question, my friend. I would find your local gaming group, local hobby shop, find a few people that you know. Where do you live, Arthur? And what army are you gonna start? So now I'm just going in, I'm doing the yellow, but I'm leaving a little bit of that orange. Okay, so there we are, the claws. So again, leave this to dry for a few minutes. I'm gonna actually dump out this orange at this point. It's too orange. It's not gonna help me anymore. So grab my water. Hey Maru, how's it going? Clown mode. I definitely take more pride in painting, man. For sure, 100%. Kickstarter is good to start with 2 models. So I would, Arthur, if I were you, I would, I know there's some really like intense, like pretty like decent like gaming groups in California, especially in Anaheim. So if I were you, what I would do is, look up like the local gaming stores, etc. Figure out if they have like a Facebook group or whatever, and then try to get involved in like, or Discord or whatever, and then get involved at that level. So that would be kind of my best advice to start. If you're wondering, I'm just trying to clean up my airbrush. I haven't cleaned it between sessions for 4 days. I've just been kind of like freestyling in here, so it's a little bit gnarly. And while I'm waiting for the paint to dry, I'm just trying to kind of clean it up a little bit. I only actually disassemble my airbrush like maybe once a week and do a full clean. The rest I kind of just do what I'm doing here. Okay, good to go. Put the needle back in. Maybe we're not good to go. What's going on here? Oh damn. Yeah, that's a nasty little needle. So let me see what I can do. I really should wash my airbrush more, but I'm just lazy and I don't want to have to. I don't have to end my painting session to do airbrush maintenance. Guys, getting a long bath in the cleaner once I'm done. Oh yeah, she's got some shit in there. Yeah, he didn't. All right, so I'm just trying to get this yellow done, guys, and then this airbrush is definitely going to go in a cleaner bath. It's gone through this whole dreadnought without getting kind of properly washed. I've just been kind of ghetto washing it in between the sessions. All right, so there's my. We're back in business. Come on. Almost through this. Sorry, my airbrush keeps jamming. But I'm too lazy to clean it. God damn it. There we go. Okay, so that's all I'm gonna do by brush, or by airbrush, because my airbrush is basically on its deathbed. So quick release. I'm just gonna go throw this in some cleaner. I'll be right back, and then we'll finish the claws. All right, I threw my airbrush in my ultrasonic cleaner with some cleaner, so it should be good as new. Not necessary, guys, ultrasonic cleaner, but I bought one, and so now in my vanity, I'd like to use it. Okay, let me just look at my, you guys want to see my painting area? It's a fucking disaster right now, so give me a sec to organize this, because I get really bad anxiety when I have painting areas that look like this. So the blues can stay. All the other colors can go away. I'm very organized usually, guys, I swear. New paper towel. That's gonna go away. That's gonna go away. All my brushes that I use for this project. That's away. That's away. Sticky notes away. All right, there we go. Knife away. Oh shit. Knife away. All right, let's get back to it. So, you can see here, I can't really see here because it's blurry as fuck. The blades. So once this is a little bit more dry, I'm gonna start peeling off the sticky tack. And once it's a little bit more dry, I mean like right now because I'm impatient. Oh no, it's too sticky. Hey Gear Guts, what's going on? The best thing to get sticky tack off is other sticky tack. So when you got a lot of it on, just take your existing stuff and just kind of So I got like, you can notice there's like paint in the sticky tack, but it doesn't really matter. You just like mix it in basically and it kind of absorbs in. Yeah, so you just take the sticky tack. You just kind of use it to get itself. There we go, basically good as new. Except for the fact that I rubbed off a bunch of paint. So sweet, good job, Jen. So mental note, guys, make sure you wait for this to fully dry before you start, or you jump ahead like me and are impatient. So see what I've done here. So you guys can see that. I've like rubbed off a bunch of the paint. Not a big deal because I can just fix it by brush, but obviously just me being impatient. And also I have blue paint, I have orange paint on my thumb, and I'm literally putting it on the blue. You can see there's like specks of orange paint. So this is why you should not be a fucking hot mess like me, guys. All right. Okay, cool. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go and make a little mix of my orange, my yellow, get some of the white on my palette, and then I'm also gonna get a little bit of this one looks good. This is a intensity crimson. A few drops. All right, let's get to it. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fix all the fuck ups I made with the airbrushing by basically going over everything with a little brush. Very thin yellow. But okay. So I'm just gonna let that dry for a bit, guys. It's like too wet and it's causing me to make all sorts of issues. Let me go back to this thing. Grab my red. So that. And I'm not too worried about the inside, guys. Like, I'm just really kind of doing the outside of the cables, because the inside of the cables is going to be dark because it's dark. A little orange. And just getting the tops. But, yeah. I don't know what I was saying. Let me know what you guys are working on in the chat. Sorry, I'm like, I'm starting to hit a little bit of a wall here because I'm on very little sleep. So I might. I think what I'm gonna do, guys, I'm gonna go eat dinner. Maybe I'll probably just finish this off stream, this claw. And I'll definitely post the finished product on my Instagram. But I'm just getting like sleepy here and not very entertaining. So I'm gonna call it there. But thanks for tuning in tonight. I'll be back on Monday with another episode of Comp Corner.